And we are live.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I call to order the Design Review Board for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. The first item on our agenda are the minutes of April 20th, 2021. Are there any corrections or questions? Okay. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make it a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. The next item on the agenda is 75 Main Street, and everybody, you received the details on it. Can we look at that? Okay. Is the applicant present?
I am.
Oh, good morning.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're well, thank you. Can you give us a description of what you would like to accomplish there?
Yep. So we are looking to paint the storefront of 75 Main Street. We will paint, patch and repair the existing building facade above the mid-level trim line, entry door sequence, and that separates the first and the second floor. Paint and repair the lower portion of the building facade as shown in the architecture rendering.
Okay, thank you. And we all have a color chip, and thank you, Anne, for providing the color chip to all of us.
Yeah, thank you for getting that out.
Yes, and okay. I'm sorry, Anne.
No, I have a question once you finish your.
Go ahead.
Eric, I just have a question because this color is different than your corporate identity in the city, which seemed to be black with white on the lettering. And I was just wondering why you were changing that for here versus what you've done on your other two stores.
Yeah, so we're actually, as we kind of develop these new stores, this is kind of where we're heading towards, of this green shade versus the black and grays. So it's kind of going to be a part of our new kind of store rollout process.
And all of the, I got you sent your swatches with I think it was a gift card. So the identity is changing from kind of the gray to the greens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be more of this olive shade. And then our new kind of signature is going to be a camo, which you'll see in the interior of our store, like through our curtains. So it kind of weaves throughout the brand identity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And may I ask, the finish, it looks like a matte finish. What is the finish on this?
It looks like
a matte. Am I correct? Or a semi-gloss?
It will be a semi-gloss on the storefront. I believe what I was reading through of our sister store, Unsubscribed, they are a satin semi-gloss as well. So we'll match that same finish.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any input? Bob Hefner, I don't know if he's here.
I am here, yes.
Oh, good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Robert. Well, in the past, the Design Review Board, one look they've taken at buildings to see the building as a whole, and the integrity of the building as a whole. And as stores change, its signs and awnings, primarily sometimes like the front door.
Correct.
The swimwear store by the movie theater, which has a corporate sort of a navy blue, they did ask the board to paint the whole storefront navy blue, and the board decided that keeping the whole complex white and having the blue awning and sign, and I don't know, I'm sure about the door. So there is option, historical precedent for going, both ways. Maybe sometimes they have allowed the storefront to be painted, but I'm not sure what cases those would be.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have anybody else express a feeling about what Bob is saying here?
I
Well,
guess I
usually-
I would agree
But
that it
I-
it does, kind of make it stand out. And if you look at the building as a whole, this is like, not even half of the left side. It looks kind of odd, I guess, to me. There's no I don't know what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
Like having the windows and doors to be that green color, which would be different than what would be on the other side of the building. I see what you're saying. It could be a lot of that one color.
Right. Yeah. I tend to agree with you both in the sense that if it just is that isolated spot, it sort of looks like a big dark area on a building that is all basically white. Anne, what are your thoughts on this?
Were you guys planning to do an awning?
No, we actually took the awning down,
You took the awning down, so you were gonna have just
storefront color. Yeah.
storefront.
I think like as we were looking through like who was on our side of the street, like we were looking at the Corcoran building and they're like kind of semi in the same vein of us, that they're part of their storefronts painted black and the rest of the building, I believe, is white on the top. And then we were looking at Restoration Hardware as well as kind of a reference. But I know that they're kind of more of a whole, like a light gray shade than what obviously we're going for a different idea than that.
And I think the Corcoran has awnings, which I think they have black awnings, I believe, on Corcoran.
I can't remember, sorry.
I think.
Isn't the Restoration Hardware building on its like a one building on its own? It's not
Yeah,
a
it's a corner
storefront
store.
within a larger building. Yeah.
Right.
I think that you'd have to take into consideration that Restoration is a very large building. And so it's really, it stands out differently than painting one side of a very small building where basically, if you look at this photograph, 3/4 of the building is white,
Yeah.
whereas this would be 1/4. So my thoughts are, what does the rest of the board members feel about this? If we could just get an opinion from each person in which direction you want to go here. Do you want that color or do we want it white?
Seems like as a rule, you want to add a little color to the front of your building. The building is white, and then you could have a colorful awning that kind of sets it aside from the other buildings. But I don't know. I kind of like the white myself, but that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing we could do is, this is for the board to decide, each person. So we could have the door, and let's say the transom over it, that could be in the green, which is quite a nice color. Or we could, the rest could be white or some variation.
I'd go along with that.
Well, how do we feel? Can we get a vote?
Yeah, I'd prefer not to have the whole thing green. Just in that it stands out so much from, a large, not only this building, but a lot of the buildings from there down towards to the south. But my opinion is painting maybe the door green and keeping the rest white.
Would it,
Would give it good contrast.
if you did your signage in that green color on the white, I don't know, where is your signage going to be above the door? I mean, is that something, if the door was green and your signage brought in that color again, would that be something that's closer to what you're trying to do with your corporate identity, or?
I think like regardless of the signage, I think we were trying to keep that gold to pop off of the white or the green. So I think we can do that. But I think like if you guys, we can figure out how to, you know, have a compromise of that front door being green, and then kind of go from there then.
And are you proposing also to do the window, the floral boxes out front? Did you want those also?
I think we were trying to figure out what we were going to do about the storefront color first, and then we were going to put an application in for the planters so we could have the correct color down for you guys.
And what is, if he does the planters, what do people think about the planters being the green?
I actually think if the door were green and maybe the transom and the two planters were this green and the rest of the windows were white, I think that would be a nice contrast.
Yeah, that
without
would be.
being too much. Then if you also, if your company wants to do an awning or some lettering, you could play off of that, which would probably be not too dark and create like a dark tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, a nice combination I see is the door and the transom green and the two planters also in the green and the rest simply white. And then the above the the horizontal piece, maybe that wants to be treated differently with some kind of logo or your name, and maybe an awning, whatever you come up with.
Okay. Just so I'm clear, so when you guys are speaking of the transom, are you saying that, so the door would be green, and then are you saying that are you saying that these bricks on the lower half could be green where the planters are, or are you saying the interior of the door frames?
No, I think he's saying that the glass divided light transoms above.
Above.
Yep. Would be white.
Okay. Would be white. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying the transom above the door may want to match the green because then it's a statement. And if your two planters are also the green, it's a lovely color. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great color, but we don't want it to look like 1/4 of the building is a hole.
Totally
and I think by painting it this green, it's going to look like a black hole.
Yeah.
1/4 of the 3/4 of the building. And I think that I don't think that would look good for you also, because I think if it has the white with the green, the way we just described, the building will pop.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my thoughts. And then you're also going to facilitate some type of some kind of logo or writing above, signage with an awning. And I think actually the play of the green and the white would look better for your building.
Okay.
So would something like this be acceptable to the board? And do you like what do you think about the idea?
Well, I think it'd be a good contrast if you did it that way.
I do too. And I think that those green accents would be nice with the white building.
Yeah.
So if that is an agreement with everybody, well, can I have a motion to approve that?
Do you want to see it first?
Do you want to?
Do you want something on file first before you act on?
Definitely. Yes, let's do that. Yes, if they could just, reprint that.
Okay. I'll remock the storefront up then with those changes and send it back to you guys.
Okay, great. So
I would go ahead and do the logo. If you can go ahead and do your signage in the gold also when you're mocking that up. And, and can we go ahead and approve the boxes in front, the window box, or the floral planters in the front?
We don't have an application for that yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you need an application for that.
We'll need an application for that, and also we'll need an application for the signage So why don't we do something like this? Why don't you remark the thing, put in the application for the signage and the boxes, and Pam, do you think that we should just approve that at that particular point where we receive it all?
I mean, I can send it around and then we'll see. We'll go
Okay.
from there.
Yes.
I believe the signage that our signage has been approved from another vendor. I believe. It was John from Sign Innovation submitted signage for the storefront. So
Yes, I believe so. Yep.
yeah, so
Okay.
that the golds that has been approved, but I can get this remarked.
I can send that around.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I can
Okay.
submit the application for the planters as well, now that we know we can paint them green, and then we can move forward with that too.
okay.
Sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
Thank you. So
Yep,
then
thank you.
we'll go ahead and we'll put that on the next, our next meeting.
Okay, great.
Okay, Eric, thank you.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Okay. The next item on our agenda is the Blue Parrot. Is the applicant present?
Yes, I'm here, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm here also. My name is Jonathan. I'm the architect.
Good morning. Good morning
morning.
to you both. Can you please describe the project and run us through it?
Sure.
Jonathan, you want to go? Or
Sure.
should I take over?
I can just describe the project and you can pitch in when you want.
Okay.
If that works for you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are we're proposing to do work to the existing exterior deck patio at the Blue Parrot. So there's currently an existing wood deck that will remain the same size, but we're really, we would like to replace the canvas and metal structure roof that covers it with a wood frame roof that has a corrugated sort of metal sheathing on top. And it's slightly larger than the existing canvas roof because when it rains, the existing roof basically is exactly the same size as the deck. So it rains on a large part of the deck. So this one just has a larger overhang and it's slightly higher just so on the, sort of on the bottom of it, there's a little bit more headroom where it hangs over sort of the area that leads to the trash. The materials are all sort of simple, honest materials. It's just sort of wood framed to match the wood deck that's not painted. There'll be a replacement of the wood fence that's currently there. It's staying the same height. It's at 6 feet. That's on two sides of the deck. It's existing, but is in bad shape. So we want to replace it. And then we did send in an addendum, but we sent it in kind of late because there was a previous approval for a cobblestone replacement sort of in this whole area next to the deck between Ralph Lauren and the Blue Parrot. And we would like to take that approval and see if we could get a different material approved for that exact same area, sort of a concrete with sort of exposed aggregate and wood expansion joint trim. So I don't know, Pam, if that was sent around or not, but we can certainly obviously talk about the roof first and foremost.
Yes, I sent it to the chairman and the attorneys and the building inspector.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So why don't we, the first part, why don't we talk about that? And from the board, do I have any questions about this? Would you?
Guess my question is the corrugated material, is that typical or has it ever been used in that part of the village? It seems pretty kind of industrial, primitive. So that was my first question.
Yeah.
We do have corrugated metal inside the Parrot on the ceiling that's painted a light white color. We do have a small piece of metal above a bay window that is when you walk up from the parking lot, it's a tiny bay window that has a little bit of metal. I don't foresee us seeing the top of it. But Jonathan, you can answer to that. I think, for that choice of material, I think that was just for what? Can you explain?
Yeah, I mean, I think the aesthetics of the it'll be a galvanized, it'll be a dull, not a shiny corrugated. It does have some corrugated wire glass skylights, but they are obviously smaller than the overall roof. So it'll be mostly would be corrugated with a wood structure exposed underneath. So it wouldn't be a shiny material, but I think the aesthetics of it are more in keeping, obviously, with the blue parrot and the look and sort of beachy feel of that establishment rather than the village itself. And I think that since we're sort of tucked down the alleyway, the roof, will not be visible from the parking lots, or Main Street. It's sort of back in the little corner. And there is, as Sarah says, there's an existing corrugated metal roof. It's much smaller, but it's already sort of more sort of public facing over a bay window on the side of the building. So we're sort of matching that.
The bay window is standing seam. It's not corrugated. The bay window, I have a picture of it. It's a standing seam roof, which is to me pretty different than a corrugated material.
I believe it's the same color though, is it not?
It is. I think she is correct. I think it is a seam. Right on the top, it's the small one. We tried to match that as much as possible. We could look into that if you think that's a lot better than the corrugated metal. I don't know. I can look into that. This was just the most readily available, and
is the corrugated metal? It appears to be. Is it a grayish color? Is that it?
Yeah, it's a galvanized material, so it's sort of a dull silver.
Okay.
It just seems like it's something that is, I mean, yes, it's great for what kind of food you guys are doing, but it just seems like it's more material used in the islands, not something we really have here, and that the standing seam is something you already have on the building, and we have in other places in the village, something that's used in the village that seems like would kind of still be good with your theme of your restaurant, but would be probably more in keeping with something in that part of the village.
Yes, I can definitely look into that and price that out. I think we did look into that. Just because we're post-COVID, we're quite limited in what our resources can be, but I will definitely look into that and try and, recoup as much as I can. It's a very small restaurant, so we weren't open for service last year, just for the safety of the children. So I will look into that.
The thing that's been done before and been approved by the board and is there's an outdoor space that used a clear corrugated material that's actually quite nice. I mean, you see the wood structure on it, but it's actually a pretty nice material, and I don't know if you've ever looked at that before, but it has the
no, but I would love to.
Pam, I don't know if they got the pictures that I took of that. I know the board has pictures.
But I can send them along.
Yeah, I think we did look at a clear roof. We thought honestly that a metal roof would be more acceptable to the village. And I think the reason why we went corrugated instead of standing seam is we did have Sarah owns some corrugated glass, which is wire glass, which is actually incredibly beautiful, that we wanted to use. So it's more difficult, or there's more detailing about installing a skylight, in a standing seam roof that's a piece of glass. So that's obviously possible, but we're trying to match a corrugated with a corrugated look, so it's consistent.
Yeah. I just have a concern for approving this with you guys and what happens to other using this kind of material and other people wanting it in this part of the village.
Bob Hefner, do you have an opinion about the aesthetics of the corrugated, because maybe instead of for the size of the corrugated roof, can we just use a flat metal roof or a simple standing seam roof, as opposed to, it does, every time I go to the Caribbean, which has been a long time now, it always reminds me of some of the, sort of temporary restaurants and temporary sheds that they use down there. I think it would look aesthetically very nice if it was just a simple standing seam roof with, inserts of your
Right.
little glass skylights.
Well, even more traditional here than standing seam is a flat seam.
A flat seam, yes.
A flat seam metal roof. Thomas Moran Studio, Home Sweet Home have them. Of course, the location of that is also not right on the street, so perhaps there's a little bit more latitude in the character because it doesn't really impact the streetscape as much. But flat seam metal roofs are quite common.
I actually think a flat seam metal roof would probably maybe be stronger or maybe more durable with the type of winds and weather and hurricanes that we receive out here. And for the size of it, it's not very large. So I don't know. What do the other board members feel about this? A flat seam roof would sort of disappear, I think.
Well, you can't really see it from the parking lot. I think if you wanted to put some glass panels in it, to let the light through, I should think that would work. I think it would hold up better than a canvas in a windstorm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with the flat seam roof if you prefer.
Yeah. Amy, what do you think about it?
I actually feel the same way. I feel like the flat seam metal roof would look a lot better in that area. When I was looking at the corrugated metal roof, the first thing I thought of too, this was the islands. So I was thinking that as well. So I felt like we needed to find a better material that would suit this area of the village. And I think you're right with the metal seam roof.
And Kristen, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, can I just ask, I forgot what the original material was on the roof?
It was a yellow canvas.
Canvas.
Okay.
It showed the same branding color. It was a pretty bright yellow, and it obviously had a skirt on the side. So
Okay.
in elevation, sort of would appear much larger than the roof we're proposing.
Does this give you guys an opportunity to have a longer season by having this more permanent roof?
It's my main thing was to get airflow over there since we don't have my dad's 92 and my mom's 80, and so I'm just trying to get some outside airflow. No more seating, just a little bit more updated heat and fan.
Okay.
What is our overall look then? Do we want to go with the standings, a flat roof, a flat metal seamed roof? It always seems to me more permanent than every time I see something corrugated, I always think of the Caribbean, and I always think of something that is not in our climate. Let's put it that way. Corrugated.
Are you jealous, Mr. Chairman?
Yes. I mean, we all need like 85 or 90 right now, right?
We could use it.
I also thought the material that Anne had sent in the photos was very nice as well. If they wanted to look at that, I thought that was a nice look with a clear roof.
Mm-hmm.
Was this sent by email or was it just sent to?
I just sent it to you by email.
So, Mr. Chairman, it seems like you have a consensus for a flat seam roof.
Yes, and so can I get a motion on the flat seam roof?
I'll make a motion.
We'll
Do I-
second it.
Yeah, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So I think that sounds great. I think that I'm sort of glad that we kicked this around and that we all came to the consensus that a flat seam roof, metal flat seam roof is more in keeping with our northern climate here in East Hampton. And I think it would be better.
And
How
you-
does is the applicant okay with this?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
guys will do it in color with your bay window, try to do it in keeping with that?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, then, okay. So that's it. So we have a consensus and let's go with that. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Okay. Do we have any questions regarding anything else or any other matters? Pam, are there any other items that we should?
Nope, that was
consider?
it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
sec. Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
Board meeting in the Village of East Hampton. Congratulations.
You're muted.
Thank you.